Well, hello, friends. We're back again. Hope that you're joining us. I'm Faye Harding. We're coming live from Insight USA's national headquarters in Orlando, Florida. It's exciting to be able to communicate with you on a regular basis now, and our theme today is Hoodwinked. We are seeing the Republicans in Congress tap dance to the music that they never expected to be played. And we have so much to rejoice for because we've got a president that knows the difference between good and evil, and the people's voice and the trifold court of evil that's running our government, not on behalf of what is in the best interest of the people, but what's in their own best interest. They've been used in the United States Treasury as a slush fund for many, many years. Their money laundering schemes going from federal agencies where they issue federal contracts are fueling back into their personal coffers millions of dollars. And it's become nothing short of organized crime, but what could the people do about it? As long as they could get elected, as long as they could unite with Democrats, which they've done, the Karl Rove moderates learned that if they would unite with Democrats during the primaries, that never another conservative would be elected to the Congress, the Senate, or the House of Representatives. They started doing that during the Bush era. So people, we are going to know the truth. We are not going to have a nervous breakdown because we know the truth. But that's why I'm reaching out beyond what we've been able to do with a prayer network that is literally, just literally, leaps and bounds getting our prayers, faith, and action working. What we have are the facts. So today I'm going to share some more of the facts. We are live on Faye USA, Facebook/Faye USA. If you're watching us on YouTube, which is Insight USA YouTube, we're live for 15 minutes a week. And then this message is archived on both social medias and Insight USA .us, our website. Be sure and get that information. Comment while we're talking today because so many of you are saying, Faye, I've never heard this before. We knew something was wrong. But what God has told me to do and what we've invested a little bit of money in, we had to launch out. And it has really been one of the best things we've done is to teach Christians how their government works. Our intercessors, I would say 99.9%, get the congressional directory from our ministry. You can order it on the website. And this congressional directory tells you who is governing our nation. It gives you their photographs. It gives you their positions with administration, their phone numbers, voicemails that you can reach, because most of our politicians don't answer their phone. They only get $1 million to $2 million each to communicate with their constituents, which they do not, except unless you're a big donor or somebody that's going to further their agenda. But you need to learn how to communicate with them anyway, because also in this book it tells you what committee that they're serving on. And what we need is an oversight committee for the Congress. We need to put out a watch on them, and they need to be cut back to part-time because that's all they work is part-time. Their benefits need to be removed. Their full pay for life, their insurance, and they're not on Obamacare. I just want you to know what's happening in the Senate today. I was so thrilled that our president called 52 Republican senators to the Oval Office to discuss with them what was taking place today. And what I'm saying is, we have a president that knows the facts. So what I want you to do now, in just a second, I believe We're getting our signs together, but I'll be back in just a second to tell you what President Trump's done today in our best interest, and you need to know it. Corey, do I have a comment?
Yeah, so a lady, Gay Odin.
Gay.
Says, hi.
Lubbock. Gay. God bless you, Gay. Tell people, email this because it's so vital, because we're getting to the facts as to why the Republicans, the majority of Republicans, are not operating in our best interest. They are using the United States Treasury as their slush fund. How do you think somebody like Marco Rubio, who can't make a house payment when he's elected as a senator, becomes a multimillionaire in just a few years? They get kickbacks from federal contracts that they issue. John McCain, Lindsey Graham, you wouldn't believe how much money's come back into their coffers from the Iraqi war. And they call it, we care about the war. Well, put somebody to research and force these senators and congressmen to be transparent in all of the kickbacks they receive from federal contractors into any coffer that they have access to. What we're dealing with today, and I got to go real quick because the issues we're dealing with. Number one, Obamacare must be repealed. It doesn't need to be replaced. And just looking at what the Senate has done since 6 or 7 months after having 7 years shows you why it's the states that are supposed to govern the people of this nation, not federally elected 2 out of a state. Neither one of the senators in the state of Florida represent anything that I stand for or feel. Neither one. Our governor does. So the governing should be from the states. We should bring down every federal agency unless it's mandatory that it has a federal constituency, and there's not many of those. And what we've got to do is force the Senate and the Congress to go on Obamacare, the plan that they plan. You're talking about an hour's work. You're talking about reversing the law that they made with Obamacare that has outlawed the 85 to 90% of the people in this country that had health care, insurance, what we needed, paying our way, no problems. They made that against the law. They created a new law that said you've got, all of this has got to come down plus $750 billion to take care of the 15%, many of them illegal. And this is so the cheap labor like Nancy Pelosi and the Bush family have in their vineyards in California have the taxpayers paying for the benefits of their cheap labor. Don't allow it to happen. Gay, I want you to call our friends in Lubbock. Lubbock is our Texas headquarters. We are thrilled to have such a network. You wouldn't believe Texas and New Mexico are our biggest states, but others are coming in charge with us. California, we are hearing from California, New York. It's unbelievable where Illinois, where our intercessors are coming from. But this is what we have to do. Number one, we have to act. Christians, you have to know the facts. You have to know who's governing our nation and what they are doing with all of the money. You have to know, we have to begin to find out where $20 trillion was spent. These people, they not only spent $20 trillion, they spent everything we brought in since Bill Clinton, trillions a year. They spent all the fees and the taxes the environmentalists charge to steal people's lands, property, and make monuments out of privately owned land. They've spent all of that. They robbed Social Security. Clinton robbed it. Herbert Walker Bush robbed it. George Bush robbed it. And Obama robbed it. And now they're saying, Social Security's broke. It's broke. Of course it's broke. They not only robbed the Social Security Trust Fund billions and billions of dollars and spent it as new income, they also robbed the Transportation Fund. That's why it takes 40 minutes for me to go 8 miles in the state of Florida, and I went to Texas a couple weeks ago, and it's worse in Dallas. It's because we bought the lie, get out of the mix. So what we're doing today is it would take less than an hour. You take this Medicare and all of these billions, $250 billion, they're going to keep in taxes that we're going to pay to subsidize 15% of people who can't find a job to buy their own insurance. That's a disgrace. It's not because we're taking 22 million that can't get health care. That's a lie. The liberals don't do anything but lie, but the sad part about it is the majority of Republicans we've elected to office are lying liberals. They have to go. And now is the time to demand that governance goes back to the states. We must demand there'll be no more health care governing from the federal lawmakers. They have no business having a computer in my doctor's office with our conversation being shared, that it has to be documented, going straight to a database in the White House that Ezekiel Emanuel spent $5 billion setting up. That database is what keeps the Democrats in office. They use it for votes. However, they also decide whether or not that someone like me that just had open heart surgery would qualify for another hospital visit. I might not have the quality of life that's determined by Ezekiel Emanuel and all of these atheists that are now governing. I'm a Christian. I'm an evangelist. That's what is in motion in our White House with Obamacare. Our politicians have no business in our health care at all. They can send all of the 15%, most of them illegals, most of them foreigners, back to the states. And it's illegal to aid and abet somebody in this country illegally. They're breaking the law. So Nancy Pelosi, pay the benefits to your cheap labor yourself. People, let me tell you what else is going on real fast. I've only got a minute each, but we need to keep praying. And President President Trump is getting our messages. You can encourage the president. He is listening to the people. That's why he's not moved by the media that's nothing but lies. Even Fox News is so thwarted now, I can't watch Chris Wallace. They act like things are a crime that are not a crime. You've got to investigate because we believe we'll find a crime if we keep investigating. That is not America. I'm turning the channel. The way you get people's attention is you don't watch. I don't care what they say, I turn the channel. Law and Order has come back to my night viewing. I can't take it. I can't take the feminist liberals on Fox anymore. We have Sean Hannity and a couple of more Lou Dobbs, and that's about it. So don't buy the ads. People who are out to distort every ounce of truth in our country. Christians, there's more of us than there are of them. Now, what are we doing? We are seeing a campaign that's mocking God. That's all they're doing. The women that are coming on the scene are doing nothing but mocking God. Hillary's there with her new t-shirt, and it's called The Nasty Woman. Well, I have just designed a beautiful t-shirt that says The Virtuous Woman. We are getting ready to put a reject stamp on Hillary and all of the people that are involved with her to destroy the minds and the decency of our young women. We must do it. We must close the college campuses to it. And also, the organizer of the women, I showed this last week, they are Muslims tied to terrorists. The lady that is in cahoots with Hillary is a Muslim. Her name is Linda. I've got a picture of her if I can just bring it up here real fast. She is a Muslim that is tied to terrorism, and nobody treats women worse than the Nation of Islam, according to our character and our standards. People want to be Muslims, they want to be in Islam, so be it. But this lady is the organizer of the Women's March that is so touted by the Democrats, by the media, and she is tied to terrorists in Israel. She's a Palestinian. And what did she do next? She has called jihad against the President of the United States, and they're giving awards to women who have murdered Americans. This is who Hillary and the nasty women are involved with, and they have no problems with money. That's why I'm asking for $1 million, and I need it now. We need to go forth right now with the doors God's opening to us to have a real launch. What have we got? We've got a threefold cord. What is that threefold cord? I wrote them down so I would not forget with all the information I have to give you so fast. The threefold cord is Islam and the nasty women. But guess who's calling their shots? It's the witches. On July 21st, the witches will once again come forth. I have their ritual in writing. Their goal, remove Donald Trump from office. Close your eyes. Visualize him being blown up to ashes and all who think like him. So we've got the witches that are meeting on the same unholy day of Islam every month, this month, July 21st. I will be right back. We've got a caller.
All right, so Beth Goraki.
Beth Gordon.
She said, bless you, Faye, for being the voice of truth.
Praise God, Beth. Another one of our intercessors nationwide. And Beth's senator just became the Secretary of Interior. And he was on, Beth, last night. I got to see him for the first time. He's talking about the national parks, people coming, how money has been wasted and abused because they confiscated all this land as national parks so humans wouldn't go, not so it could serve the people in our country. And Beth, keep praying because it's the Department of Interior that has the say over the Native Americans whose borders keep them inbound while we bring foreigners from all over the world, especially Muslim countries, especially impoverished, diseased, and ignorant, filling up especially the state of Florida and charging them to us. That's who they need the health care for. That's why they need the 85 to 90% who can afford their health care, the doctor they want, and they don't need a computer in there computing to tell Washington, D.C. your conversation with your doctor. I've never, and then make it against the law to buy an insurance policy that will not force you to do that. They have to go. 2018, they have to go. Thank you, Beth. Now, what the Department of Interior is the overseer of the Native Americans, which we have another outreach that we plan to remove those borders. The Removal Act, 1862 Removal Act, we are going to see that it is reversed and our Native Americans can own the land that is theirs and live on. And they don't have to say, may I, to federal agencies. It is time to take the governance back to the states. Thank you, Beth. We are literally, our ministry, I have built an organization of eagles who want to know the truth, like Beth. They're in some of the most desired careers. They're intelligent. A lot of retired, brilliant people have joined our ministry. We want you. We must talk. You cannot be silent anymore. So we've got the threefold cord. We've got the nasty women. We've got what was it? I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. We've got the nasty women. We've got the Muslims, things that they do honor the Islamic unholy days. And then we've got the witches. They are in unity. We break that unity. July 21st, we will be having an all-night prayer meeting to combat the ritual of the witches. We've already done it twice. 2 months we were there. We're seeing our prayers being answered. Now, to call the end of Donald Trump is what the Democrats and the moderate Republicans are doing. I call them the Obamacrats. So we don't want them to do anything that's not in our best interest until 2018. To drain the swamp, we must vote them out. So we just need for President Trump, take it easy. Don't go too fast. These people are not going to do anything for you because they have been standing with the Democrats since George W. Bush. It's the Democrats that elected Susan Collins. It's the Democrats that elected Marco Rubio. It's the Democrats that come out and made sure that none of these moderate Obamacrats who gave him everything he wanted for 8 years plus 2 additional years. All we can do is understand where they are. They are not on the platform they said they represent. We cannot turn against the Republican platform. It is our platform. It's these people that wore the mask that God has now taken off. But what we've got to do is find out how many federal agencies, federal contractors have fed money back into their coffers. We need to do that, and we need researchers to find that out. 2 more things, and we got to go. They don't have money for the wall. They've told President Trump, we don't have any money for the wall. Well, let me tell you what they've got money for. They just passed an amendment. The Republicans, 24 Republicans, all Democrats, this is what they like. This is what they did with Obama. What they just passed is the House is way behind schedule on its appropriation bills. The Financial Services Bill, which has the Aguilar, I guess that's how you pronounce his name, amendment, Aguilar amendment attached to it, will end up being lumped into a massive omnibus bill this fall that President Trump won't even know it's there. I'll be right back. We've got another caller. Corey?
This is Becky Manasseh. She said, "You giving the truth, Faye?"
Becky, Lordy, I am so glad. You know, Becky, Pastor Nick and Becky have been on my show. They've been with my national ministry team since the 80s. They have one of the most fantastic, phenomenal, one of the fastest growing churches in Bradenton, Florida. It's I forgot the name. Tell her to give me the name because I got so much on my mind of the church right now, the complete name and address. I want you to visit. If you're in the Bradenton, Florida, Becky, give me your church name and address real quick. Call back. She's the first one that launched us on Facebook from the Native American event that we had in Oklahoma. But we are so happy I'm so happy you're on Facebook with us today. Hope you'll call me back and give me your name and address because I just can't remember it.
Resonate Life Church.
That's it, Resonate Life Church in Bradenton, Florida. And give them a call. And also, their churches are live on Sunday. They have the website, everything. Resonate Life Church, Bradenton, Florida. Contract them. Thank you, Becky. Email everybody. Tell them to watch our 15 minutes live. We are going to make a difference.
1820 53rd Avenue West.
1820 53rd Avenue West. Resonate Life Church, Bradenton, Florida. Visit Sunday morning. She'll tell me the names. I mean, I'm reaching a lot of people, and we will continue to do. But this is one of the most anointed couples in this country. And I'm going to tell you, their church is just like our ministry. They don't pull any punches. They are standing for total truth, and God is blessing the church. They even have a college now. But they travel with me. Their church sends them with me nationwide, and we have phenomenal miracles as we do our Insight rallies across the country. Let me tell you this real quick before we have to go. This is the House, 24 House Republicans. Trump, knowing about, they can pass this without President Trump even knowing about it, but look what it does. It says, because it is a must-pass bill, it could be signed into law without President Trump even knowing about the amendment, granting illegals federal jobs. Granting illegals federal jobs. They just passed it. This didn't have to pass. but they refused the amendment that would not allow illegals to get federal jobs. That is 24 Republicans. Let me tell you, that's why you need to get our weekly face facts. I keep the prayer teams knowing what we're doing with a weekly face facts bulletin with the current events, prayers about the current events, and a Bible study based on what is happening at the moment. You can get that by going to insightUSA.us, or you can get it through email, faye.usainsight@gmail.com. Also, our live Facebook briefings are posted, and you can go back to them. You can have people go YouTube or Facebook and watch what you're watching now. And we will be emailing you if you are not on my Facebook page, Faye USA, at Facebook/Faye USA. Go there and like me, because my media team will tell you when our next live briefing is going to be. And I've got one more subject we have to talk about this week. Pentagon to keep paying for sex change surgeons. And this came out by Roman Scarborough, the Washington Times. It's a picture I can't show you, to tell you the truth. I just won't do it. Kids are watching. But this is what they did. 24 House Republicans broke with the pro-defense brethren Thursday and helped Democrats kill an amendment that would have banned the military from funding transgender sex reassignment surgeries and hormone therapies. 24 Republicans. The amendment to the annual National Defense Authorization Act, which sets our policies on America's $696 billion military budget, failed 214 to 209, with all Democrats, 24 Republicans, opposing it. The Obama-era policies that allow transgender troops to remain on duty. And it says, who said the military will be obligated to spend $3.7 billion in the next 10 years for sex change operations. These are the people that are governing our country from the nation's capital. The call to action: we must send the governing back to the states. We must send a message to the president and to the Democrats and Republicans. There will be no more federally governed health care, no matter what kitty they decide to take the money out of. There'll be no $250 billion stuffed away to funnel to insurance companies so they can do the money laundering back to these senators. We're going back to the states. That's the call of action today. Next week, I should have my T-shirts pretty much. Our Virtuous Woman campaign is right at the door. I need women to rise and say, Faye, we're going to stand with you, and we're going to put a stamp of rejection to these nasty, filthy, vulgar women representing the witches in this country. Can you handle that? Next week, if you have become a friend, or if you are get our emails, which you have to go to insightUSA.us, enter your email address, and you will get an e-blast of when next week's live on Facebook will be. We're thrilled with what we're doing. We're thrilled at the attention we're getting and all of the new people that are joining us. And I am Faye Hardin, and we are live from one of the most beautiful cities in the world, the third most visited city in the United States, Orlando, Florida.